Greetings friends! Today I want to showcase the complete endgame guide for my Queen of Ice build in Path of Exile 2 Fate of the Vaal. I am giving tribute to my original first ever build created in Path of Exile 2 called Twin Comets. In this video, I will cover everything you need to know, like gems, gear slots, passives and jewels. This build uses many expensive items, so if you're looking for a cheaper build, I recommend starting out with Essence Drain Contagion until you farmed enough currency, and I also recommend being around level 80 when respecking. I followed this plan myself, and you can find all the live stream sessions from the journey on the channel. This is a level 93 Blood Mage build that is using a variety of icy spells. For example, we are self-casting Ice Nova to dispatch normal monsters and destroy Frost Walls for guaranteed freezes on tougher foes. When we do so, a rain of comets will trigger from our custom crit, deleting everything in its way. We are also using Snap to detonate these freezes for damage and cold infusions. These infusions make our Ice Nova do 4 times the damage, give it bigger AoE, and make it so that it leaves a patch of chilled ground. The build strengths are its fast clear speed, insane damage, and ice aesthetics. It does, however, going to take a bit to get used to, since the playstyle is nothing like you've ever played before. Or if you watched my previous build from Path of Exile 1, you will find it very familiar. Our one-shot combo looks something like this. First, we press our utility Sigil of Power for 64 more spell damage. Then we impale our skeleton minion with Soul Offering for 74 increased spell damage. After, we cast our Elemental Weakness Curse that persists on the ground, and we can have 2 of them. Then to finish it off, we just press Frost Bomb to not only switch back to our main weapon, but this also applies exposure and also grants us a cold infusion. All that's left to do is freeze and one-shot the boss with Frost Waltz and Ice Nova. You could choose to also consume the freeze on the boss with Snap to finish it off faster, or just let the freeze expire and repeat your Ice Nova Frost Waltz spells if the boss has not died yet. For our defenses, we have a base of 4000 maximum life, and by using the overflow from Blood Mage Ascendancy, we reach 6000 life. We have 800 energy shield, 141 spirit, 75% all resists including chaos resist, 13% estimated physical damage reduction, and 31% movement speed modifier. When we kill a rare or unique monster, we also get the Rite of Passage buff that gives us 20% extra maximum life, 60% increased stun threshold, and 20% reduced damage taken. Every time we cast a spell, we get 50% of the life spent on our spells back through regeneration with Sacrifice of Blood Keystone from Undying Hate Timeless Jewel, and this effect stacks with the number of spells used. I will talk more about this in the passive tree section. We also recover 4% of our maximum life on kill through rare jewels, and all of our leech is instant with the unique gloves Adziris Acuity. And remember, cold damage is the best damage because of the sheer amount of defenses you get from monsters being chilled and frozen. Anyone who says otherwise is either lying or does not know how the game works. For our offenses, we have almost 700,000 tooltip DPS for Comets, 200,000 on Snap, and close to 100,000 on Ice Nova on PoE.Ninja. But I believe this number is much higher, because we are overlapping multiple comets when we crit. We have 99.5 critical hit chance with a 610 critical damage bonus. We are using Blood Magic, so all of our spells cost life instead of mana. We reach 10% of our spell damage, and this leech is instant from our gloves like previously mentioned. Now let's check out what skill gems we are using. Starting off, we have the Ascendancy passive called Life Remnants. This will appear on our skills UI when we ascend and allocate Sanguimancy. It is linked with Remnant Potency 3, Harmonic Remnants 2, and Catalyst Rejuvenation. We are also using another innate skill from our Chiming Staff offhand to grant us Sigil of Power, and this one is linked with Magnified Area 2, Prolonged Duration 2, Second Wind 3, and Arcane Surge. Our main damage setup is cast on crit Comet, linked with Atalui's Bloodletting and Embitter combo, giving us 40% of physical damage as extra cold damage. We finish it up links with Boundless Energy 2 and Concentrated Area. Snap is linked with Deliberation, Considered Casting, Efficiency 2, Elemental Focus, and Cold Mastery. Ice Nova is linked with Astral Projection, allowing us to cast the spell on the cursor instead of around us, Efficiency 2, Considered Casting, Magnified Area 2, and Extraction. This last gem you can switch for something else if you desire to lose less life per cast from the Ice Nova, like Efficiency for example. Frost Walls are linked with Spell Cascade, Efficiency 2, Cooldown Recovery, Second Wind 3, and Blind 2. Frost Bomb is linked with Magnified Area 2, Efficiency 2, Cold Mastery, and Potent Exposure. Our Curse utility is Elemental Weakness linked with Deodorous Undoing, Ritualistic Curse, Heightened Curse, Magnified Area, and Efficiency 2. Soul Offering is linked with Dance Macabre, Prolonged Duration 2, Sacrificial Offering, and to use this utility we will need a Skeletal Cleric minion linked with Last Gasp. Make sure to click the plus button to activate this one. Last but not least, our Spirit Aura is Siphon Elements linked with Harmonic Remnants 2, Remnant Potency 3, and Cold Mastery. We require a total of 141 Spirit to run all of the auras, and that's only after making the cast on crit with 20% quality for the 10% reservation efficiency. If you somehow get extra Spirit, I recommend using Mysticism 1 for extra spell damage. Although not necessary, I highly recommend getting 20% quality on all available gems along with at least level 19s, and when possible, corrupt them from an extra level or quality. Now I will showcase the gear that I'm currently using, but just as a quick honorable mention, you could use the unique Veil of the Night for a budget version of the build and not get any elemental resist on gear. This will allow us to have 0 resist instead of negative ones, along with 50% increased maximum life stat. However, after playing a whole day with this helmet, I couldn't stomach the ignites destroying me or not being able to do the Temple of Kopek map because of the fire damage over time from the pyramid. So I switched it pretty fast, but it is way cheaper in comparison. I will start off with our uniques. We are using a Rat Pit Globe with a very good maximum life roll and ideally corrupted to break the cap on stats like increased damage or crit, because it is really not that expensive at all. I've socketed a Chaos Resist Soulcore, but if possible it's ideal to socket in plus 40 maximum life if you can find the Chaos Resist in someplace else. As already mentioned, we are using an Azir's Acuity for the instant leech from critical hits. Since we have a guaranteed chance to crit, it is no-brainer item for our build. This too should be corrupted to break the limit on stats or for useful implicits. We also socketed plus 40 maximum life in it. Our rings are 2 unique seeds of the Cataclysm, nicely rolled with focus on the critical damage bonus. We catalyst it with caster modifiers to increase the number further. Now, moving on to our rare items, you will see a trend here, triple resist with tier 1 maximum life. So our helmet not only gives us triple resist and flat life, but also a little bit of rarity. Do not underestimate this stat because it will pay you more than you think. Even getting a little bit helps. You could also justify getting critical hit chance modifier as a suffix here and getting resist in someplace else if possible. We socketed a greater body rune here for plus 40 maximum life. Our wand is a plus 5 level of alcohol spell skills with cast speed and as much damage as extra elements as we can get. Such a wand can get expensive, so I recommend buying one blue and crafting on top of it, maybe you get lucky. Sure, we might get some bad modifiers like I got here, mana, but as long as you have 4 good modifiers, we are sitting pretty. We socket in a Hedge Witch Assandra's Rune of Wisdom plus 1 level of spells in this one. Our amulet, it's my most expensive item that I've crafted myself. It's a plus 3 level of spell skills along with tier 1 maximum life, percent maximum life, spirit, and by the way, we require at least 41 spirit on our amulet to use everything, so If you're having budget restraints, I suggest getting a +2 with Spirit and Life, or just a +3 with Spirit and call it an item. We anoint this one with Cooked, which is concentrated liquid suffering, diluted liquid ire, and liquid envy. Our body armor needs to have the biggest number of energy shield possible, ideally around 700, along with tier 1 life and any resist to fill the gaps. Its base is a sacramental robe, and we socket it with 2 greater iron rune in it to increase the energy shield roll. Our boots are triple resist with movement speed and flat life. Here we have a socket +4 maximum life also. Our belt is a triple res with life along with charm effect duration and a very pleasant chance for flask use to not be consumed modifier. Since we spam our flask quite a lot, this is a huge quality of life that I recommend to everybody that's trying the build. Speaking of the life flask, the one that I'm currently using is an ultimate life flask with instant recovery and reduced charges per use. If you have even more money to spend, you could invest into Olros Resolve unique flask for even more life recovered. We do not use a mana flask because there is no point to it. But lastly, for our charms, my favorite combination is back. Nascent Hope, Towing Charm, the Fall of the Axe, Silver Charm, and Rite of Passage, Golden Charm. Of course, if you have budget restraints, please feel free to skip on the Rite of Passage and just get a Golden Charm that is magic instead. Now, let's take a look at the passive tree. We are a Blood Mage, so we take full advantage of the 50% life overflow through Sanguimancy. We leech 10% of our spell damage as life through Vitality Siphon. We increase the base critical hit chance for spells through Sunder the Flesh, and become more tanky by taking Grasping Wounds and Crimson Power. For our keystones, we take Blood Magic, that converts all mana costs into life costs, and we take Sacrifice of Blood. This keystone is converted from Chaotic Inoculation only when you will socket in the unique jewel Undying Hate. As I previously mentioned, this is a variation unique, so you will need to get souls in tribute to Tech Rod, and anything else is secondary. We path to all the critical strike chance and damage on the tree that you can see. We also take 6 jewel sockets, and Heavy Frost allows us to negate elemental resist on monsters that are frozen, and a Vocational Practitioner allows us to proc or cast on crit reliably. Speaking of jewels, they are very important. I'm gonna start off with the jewel Against the Darkness. This gives us 4% of damage as extra cold damage for every notable in the area. As you can see over here, I have took quite a bit of passives, and all of them give me 4% damage as extra cold, along with 1% to maximum chaos resist. But the chaos resist is something that does not help me whatsoever, so the second stat here could be whatever you find cheapest. Do not allocate dizzying hits and stupefy if you do not have the jewel. Next unique jewel is called From Nothing, and this is a variation unique that acts like a budget megalomaniac. It allows us to allocate points in the Wild Surge incantation, but there is only one notable here that we care about, which is Sacrificial Blood, and we also take life spell damage as a smaller notable. If we had the megalomaniac, we will take this notable along with any other useful notables to maximize efficiency and points, but such a jewel is expensive and I did not get my hands on one yet. Lastly, we are using 3 rare jewels, sapphire jewels, that are honestly very juicy. We are looking for critical hit chance, critical damage, trigger spells, deal damage, and recover maximum life on kill, along with any other spell or cold damage that we can get. corrupting such jewels for the 5th stat might be challenging, but the 4 stat ones work just as fun. Some I've made myself and some I bought and then corrupted. We use minimal weapon set skill points because we do not want to disturb the balance of stats too much, but we basically put more damage and cold damage on the weapon skill slot 1 here, and we also take a little bit of extra crit here. And for the offhand we just take some light lingering whispers and master of hexes for curse duration and magnitude. So the only one thing that you have to watch out for is your weapon sets to be on the same number of skills, so you don't miss up on any other skill points. For example, if this was 11 and this was 12, then that means in the weapon set skill point you can just put one more skill point without removing any value. If you were to level up, I just take little nodes like those ones here and those ones here, but additionally, if you have 3 points, you can get another jewel socket and socket in another rare jewel like this one. For the permanent buffs in the campaign, I took +5 dex, strength and int from Hinekora, 30% increased charm effect duration from the medallion, and 5% all elemental resist from the Kima pillars. This concludes the build guide for my Queen of Ice Blood Mage. If you have any questions or suggestions, please post them down below in the comment section or come ask them in chat when I stream. I'd love to have you there. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Exile. We fucking got it! Let's go! Let's go! We got it, bro! Finally, with the last spec of fluency.